Welcome back to our online class. Today we are on day 7 of Islamic studies. Before we dive into our main lesson today, which is the Quran, the holy sacred book of the Muslims, I would want you to go back and reflect on what we learned yesterday about the 5 daily prayers, Salat. Now I have 4 questions for you. What is your reaction or response to the 5 daily prayers that the Muslims perform daily? Tell me, what is your reaction to that? Remember, the prayer comes with wudu. Wudu is simply the ablution, meaning the ritually cleaning themselves before they enter the mosque or before they do the prayer, before they touch the Quran. They must wash their hands, they must wash their food, they must wash their face and mouth and ears and nose. What is your response to those 5 daily prayers? Number 2, explain the purpose of zakat. Why do you think the Muslim till today collect zakat, which is a tax, not exactly tithe in the Bible, but tax? Number 3, what is the purpose of fasting in Islam? What are some do's and don'ts during the fasting month? List them down. And finally, explain the origin of Hajj. How does it benefit the believer or Islam? The Hajj. Hajj is the pilgrimage that at least once in lifetime of a Muslim, they must make a trip to Mecca to go around the Kaaba at least once in their lifetime. So my question is, how does this benefit the believer or even Islam? Moving on to our next part of the lesson, which is the Holy Quran, also spelled as Koran. Please take note of that. So I want you to go ahead and read those few paragraphs that I have, and please read carefully so that you can understand the Quran and how it is respected in the Muslim community, how it was revealed to the Prophet, and the form that we have today. Please read about that. And then I have a few questions over here. Now you'll notice that I gave you around 26 facts on Quran, 26 of them, and I have labeled the numbers. What I want you to do is look down at the question, and I have asked a question, and you have to find the information from the bulleted number. And whichever number carries that answer, you just write down the number. You do not have to write down the statement, the sentence, no, just write down the numbers that corresponds to the question. Now, I would like to also warn you at this time that these bullet numbers are rearranged for every class. So please try not to copy from the other class because the numbers are not the same as your class. All right, so go ahead and read each of those questions and then go back to the bulleted number and see which numbers carries the answer for those selected questions. After you're done with the questions on the Quran, please go ahead and look at the Hadith. What is the Hadith? Well, in short, just to let you know, Hadith is the sayings of the Prophet. The instructions, the advice that the Prophet gave are written in the Hadith. These are the words of the Prophet. Quran, on the other hand, is the word of Allah, is the word that came from God through Gabriel or Gabriel. But Hadith is the wise sayings of the Prophet. And so this Hadith is also very, very well respected among the Muslim community. Of course, it is not equal to the Quran because Quran is the word of God, but Hadith is the wise sayings, advices, instructions from the Prophet. So my question on the Hadith would be, what is the difference between Quran and the Hadith? Make a comparison. Difference between the Quran and the Hadith. Alright, for our last part of our activity for today, I have a question, and that is, what is the main difference between a Muslim and a Jewish dietary law? What can a Muslim eat? What can a Jew eat? What can a Christian eat? What can an SDA eat? All right. So I gave you a chart, a table all you have to write is yes or no. For example, can a Jew eat pork? If no, write no in the box. If the Muslims can or cannot eat the pork, then write yes or no. A Christian can eat the pork? Yes. SDA? No. Write no. So I give you this table. Simply write the word yes or no if they can consume these types of food. To help you fill the answer to the table, let's take a look at a few of the food items that is listed there and see how they correspond to the different groups, beginning with pork or bacon. Obviously, Jews will not eat it because the Bible clearly says in Leviticus chapter 11 that do not eat pork. Muslims also are told not to eat, but you'll notice, as we learned, that in certain circumstances, they can eat pork if there is no food at all. Christians, when I mean Christians, it's all the Christian world. Yes, they do eat pork, but the Seventh-day Adventist, like us in EIS, we don't. So we are similar to the Muslims and the Jews. Next, catfish, eel, or even camel. Jews will not touch them. Jews will stay away from them. Muslims, however, will eat camel, even the catfish. Bible gave special criteria. We are to observe the animal and see if they fall into that category, and then we decide whether they're clean or unclean. God has given us the criteria. Bible does not, however, give us the reason why, but it gives us a criteria by which we can decide whether they are clean or unclean. For the Muslims, however, there is no criteria. They simply pick and choose. They have a list of things that are halal and a list of things that are haram. Camel is halal for them because that's the only animal you find in the desert, and so they would eat the meat, they would even drink the milk. Christians, however, probably are not used to camel. They will not eat camel meat. But eel, catfish, yes. Seventh-day Adventists, on the other hand, will not eat that. So here, the Seventh-day Adventists are very similar to the Jews. We will not eat what the Jews don't eat. Next, crab, squid, and shrimp. Jews will not eat them because they are called in the Bible as scavengers in the sea. So they will not eat those. Muslims will eat it. Christians will eat it. But again, the Seventh-day Adventists won't eat crab, squid, or shrimp. And that's why you don't see those in our cafeteria. Then we have beer, alcohol, and wine. A Jew will drink alcohol or wine or beer. Again, in the Quran, it does say that as long you do not get drunk, you can drink. That's why you will see alcohol is being served in planes like Emirates Airlines or even Dubai. Duty-free shops, they will sell alcohol and wine. Because a Muslim could drink as long they don't get drunk. Christians will drink beer, alcohol, or wine. Seventh-day Adventists, on the other hand, will not drink beer, alcohol, or wine. For us, it is a totally no-no. For the Jews, it's okay. Muslims, as long as you don't get drunk. Christians, okay. Seventh-day Adventists, no. And finally, smoking. Now, this smoking, we're just simply talking about nicotine. We're not talking about weed or ganja, marijuana. No, we're just simply talking about the plain cigarettes that you find. Yes, a Jew will smoke. A Muslim would smoke. A Christian would smoke. But again, a Seventh-day Adventist will not smoke. So, if you look at the table, all items for Seventh-day Adventist is a no. Christian, all item is yes. For the Muslims, that's where you have slight difference. Some similar to the Jews, some opposite of the Jews. Once you're done, please turn in your work. Make sure to highlight all your answers in red color font, and I'll see you on our next video.